Hello, I hope everyone is doing great and welcome to today's webinar. We will have 60 minutes in order to discuss Russian social media platform that is called VKontakte. My name is Alexandra and I'm going to be your MC for today. Today we will look at what is VK and how relevant it is, who uses VK, age, gender, occupation, etc. What are the basic functions of VK? What topics and discussions are most common? And how can VK help your business reach and engage with Russian customers? Russian social media of VKontakte can be literally translated as in contact or in touch, and it was renamed to VK just to make it easier for users from all over the world. It was founded by recent graduate Pavel Durov from St. Petersburg State University and launched in October 2006. Currently, VK is the second biggest social network service in Europe after Facebook, which allows users to message their contacts, create groups, public pages, and events. Find friends and news, share, tag and download images, audio and video, as well as play browser-based games. It is available in several languages, but mostly popular among Russian-speaking users. For example, according to official stats, VK is the most visited website in Belarus, the second most visited in Russia and Ukraine, fourth in Kazakhstan, and 19th in the entire world. By the most updated stats, VK have an average of at least 220 million registered accounts, and during last 3 months, which is May, June and July of 2013, an average of over 47 million daily users. Quite impressive, isn't it? Today we are going to talk why it is important for companies to be familiar with the Russian social media as a perfect tool of reaching Russian-speaking audience, and how can VK help your business reach and engage with the Russian customers. Okay, now please meet our team members who will provide you with more of information. So, Svetlana Uleva from Los Angeles is a presenter for today with a detailed overview of VK social media. And Lucas Bertoli from Vancouver will do case study right after, giving real examples of VK usage in marketing purposes. And to begin with, I'm transferring over to Svetlana, translation and localization specialist.
Hello everyone. Today we're going to discuss how to reach Russian target audience using social media. Russia is a unique country both in general and in terms of social media usage. While the whole world is socializing on Facebook, Twitter, watching videos on YouTube and blogging on Blogspot, Russian people have national social networks such as VK, VKontakte, which is still way more popular than global social media giants. In addition, Russians are second for social media use in the world. So, what do they like to do when spending an average 10.3 hours per month in the various social networks like VK. VK is similar to Facebook, but designed and specially created for Russian audience. Though VK and Facebook have a number of similar features and abilities, VK offers unique functionality to its users. VK, the most popular social network in Russia, contains a massive collection of audio and video content. Being a VK user, you can draw on graffiti wall. You can add any pictures you like. As with most social networks, the site's core functionality is based around private messaging and sharing photos, status updates, and links with friends. VK private messages can be exchanged between groups of 2 to 30 people. An email address can also be specified as the recipient. Each message may contain up to 10 attachments, photos, videos, audio files, and documents. If you are a VK user, it's very easy to talk to your friends or communicate with people whom you don't even know, but who are in your group. A like button allows users to like objects and share links with friends. VK like buttons for posts, comments, media, and external sites operate in a different way from Facebook. Liked content doesn't get automatically pushed to the user's wall, but does get instantly saved in the private section. The user has to press a second Share with Friends button to share an item on their wall. With the Like widget, your visitors can express their attitude towards an article with one click or immediately share the link to its friends. You can always view the full list of users who liked the article and shared the link to it with their friends. Besides, using Browse Comments link, you can view all comments left in VK for the posted links. VK users can post on their profile walls media files, maps, and documents. The news feed can be switched between all news, default, and most interesting. The site allows its users to upload, search, and stream media content, such as videos and music. VK features an advanced search engine that allows complex queries for finding friends, as well as a real-time news search. VK has tools for managing online communities, celebrity pages. At the moment, groups and public pages are very popular in the VK network. Groups are better suited for decentralized communities. Public pages are news feeds, so-called oriented broadcasting tool for celebrities and businesses. Public pages give VK users more variety compared to groups. You can choose the page type based on the following: location, famous person, a community, private company or organization, product or intellectual property. It's free to create a public page and any member can do it easily. Groups can be divided onto clubs, academic groups, organizations, graduates, and private groups. Here you can see an example of an open group called Great Britain. Its members can find a variety of information about the UK, for example, music or maybe national anthem, travel advice for hotels and vacations in the UK, even small English lessons and movies. As owner of a website, you are always looking for more ways to increase the traffic and number of visitors to your website. While most of the techniques like social network promotions, advertising, word of mouth get you traffic from the outside, there are a few things you can do from the inside to increase your website's overall traffic. VK offers a number of flexible commenting tools called widgets that can be easily built into your website. This enables VK users to comment on your materials without having to register on your site. A community widget links your site with your VK community. Each comment may be broadcast on the commenter's VK page along with a link to the original article. The commenter's friends will see the post in the news feeds and may join in the conversation. Here you can see an example of widget on page of nonprofit project called Cultura.ru. When you click on the VK icon, you will be directed to Cultura.ru page on VK. Your users will be able to subscribe to your VK feed without leaving the page again. VK community model for your site can display faces of members. This widget can also display photos of users' friends who follow the community or random user pictures in case there are none. You can also see member demographic stats by clicking on the followers count. Here is another example of VK widgets usage on Coca-Cola website. As you can see, there are endless possibilities to attract more visitors to your website. As an owner of a page, you can create polls, post your company news, share links to promote events, and others. Here, I would like to introduce Lucas Bertoli, Regional Marketing Manager for Europe ILSC Education Group, who will be sharing with us how he is using VK to communicate and interact with Russian clients.
Hi everyone, my name is Lucas and I work for ILSC Education Group, and so I'm glad to meet all of you. I thought maybe to begin with I could go through a little bit about what our school does, as it would probably help provide context for how we use VK in our social media and marketing efforts. So very briefly, ILSC has 5 verticals. Our main bread and butter is our language schools, which we have 7 campuses throughout the world. We also have colleges, corporate training, teacher training, and continuing education products that we offer. So how do we promote ILSC internationally? Well, it's a very big subject, but very briefly, we have 3 main regional marketing and sales teams. We have Asia and the Middle East, we have Latin America, and then Europe and the CIS. And the CIS stands for Commonwealth Independent States, and in the CIS we mainly focus on Russia, Ukraine, and Kazakhstan. We have, in addition to those teams, we have what's called the Communication Design Team, and they focus on developing and maintaining the strong ILSC brand image across our online and offline material. So just some examples quickly. These are some brochures that our communication and design team creates. We have some campus-specific brochures, but we also have specific brochures for products that we offer, like, for example, our youth program or internship programs that we offer. They also create one-pagers to give more information about specific programs. This is another example of a university pathway program that has brochures, posters, one-pagers, and advertisements, all to promote this program more effectively. And of course, advertising that we use in publications, online and offline, and posters that are connected to different events that we have to build community with our physical students in our campuses. So we'll have posters to celebrate, for example, Mexican Day or Columbia Day, posters that draw attention to volunteer work and going green, or donating to a specific cause like we have for November. So the digital marketing team is the team that I'm working with at ILSC, and basically the mandate of the digital marketing team is to support ILSC across all digital platforms. So we do a bunch of things. Again, I don't want to get into too much detail, but as you can see, this pie kind of represents the different activities that we do, and definitely what we do with VK falls under this. But before that, I thought I'd just quickly draw some attention of what we're doing right now. So we're working on, websites, obviously the maintenance of all of our websites and creations, Facebook as well for our general English-speaking audience. We have Twitter as well, YouTube, blogging, Instagram, and there's actually a few more, but those are the main social ways that we connect with students. In addition to that, we also do market-specific social media. So this is where this ties in with the presentation today. So this is a snapshot of the VK page that we have, but I thought I could take you to the actual page as it might be interesting for you to see. So this is the actual VK page that we're running right now. You'll notice the URL is ILSC Russia, vk.com/ILSC Russia. And this is one of the main ways that we connect with our audience in Russia, Ukraine, and Kazakhstan. So we try to update this page on a daily basis, sometimes multiple times a day. And a lot of our updates are around student activities. We like to share stories, and this is a great place to share stories. Today we had this comment in the morning from one of our recent groups that came to study at ILSC from the Far East in Khabarsk. And I won't click on it, but there's actually a link that features a nice article about their experience. And so they decided to come to our page and post that article. We often feature what's happening with different students and their personal lives. So this student right here, for example, was in a recent newspaper article on the front page. So we have a little snippet about that. We use it to feature videos as well, to run polls, to get the communities to interact. And as Svetlana brought out earlier in her presentation, we also have a variety of photo albums that we post on VK about different activities. So the different activities that are happening throughout ILSC's locations. In addition to the photo albums, we often use this resource for videos and then even to upload documents in certain cases. So VK really works well when it's integrated into a system, an ecosystem where there can be almost like a circle of digital marketing activities. And with that in mind, I wanted to show you something that we often do. We encourage our users to go to our blog as well. So here I'm just linking you to the blog. And a lot of VK posts have to do with posts that are really recycling information on our blog. So most of the information that you can see here is related to studying English, but then we have information like this article talking about food trucks that really is just to provide more context to the cities that our campuses are located in. As you can see from the very top, we have University Pathway tab here. We have a tab that deals with ILSC locations, and for example, the University Pathway tab really features information directly related to students who are interested in furthering their education, coming to a school like ILSC, improving their English, and then looking for higher education within Canada, North America, or Australia. So going back to our VK page, just an example of how we recycle these posts. Scroll down to one. So you can see the food truck post right here. We had a little snippet and we added a link to the food truck post, and we get a lot more traffic to our blogs like this. You'll see down here, I think Svetlana touched on this, there's the like feature, there's also the share feature, so you can see who likes the post but who shares it as well. Another way to see how viral, I guess, or how much activities happening in correlation to your brand is to use this search function that VK has, and Svetlana touched on this in her presentation. So just as a quick demo, if you want to search for our brand, for example, ILSC, and you go to the news section, you'll actually be able, what VK does is it indexes all the searches for anything that has ILSC. So obviously this post was from our original page, so that's why it came up. It's also a great way to see what people are talking about and how they're talking about you. So here we see an agency writing about ILSC. Here's another one that has recycled one of our posts. If you scroll down, the same agency has mentioned another post about IELTS. We have, again, more information about our school and different stats that this agency right here decided to write about. So this search function is a really good tool just to have some insights and seeing what students or agents or anybody on VK is saying about you. And it's also a great way to find out what the competition is up to. So we often make good use of this tool. Going back to our page, one other function I wanted to show you is the analytics that VK has. So here you can see community statistics, but for privacy's sake, I won't click on that tab, but I actually captured a few screenshots that represent some statistics. So you can see here first, one of them is unique visitors and page views. So over the last month, we've had about 548 unique visitors. And so unique users means that it's not the same people that are coming back, but it's unique IP addresses each time. So not a huge number, but definitely a strong number. You can see the spike in the chart. So this spike is related to some of our intensive marketing activities on VK. We do it about 2 to 4 times a month. And so when we do these marketing initiatives and do these advertisements, the traffic obviously heightens. Another stat that VK has in its analytics side is the country stat. So again, from June to August, this is the different countries, the users. So we see Russia, Ukraine, Kazakhstan, which are our 3 main countries that we're trying to market. These are the first 3 that pop up, which we're really happy to see. We also have some other countries like Canada, USA, India, Turkey, and no doubt these users are probably Russians that are based in those countries. Similarly related to that is our city stat here. We have different cities. Again, Moscow, Kiev, St. Petersburg. These are mostly cities definitely in our target regions in Russia. So we're happy to see that, Russia and Ukraine. Traffic sources is another good stat that we are able to learn more about using the analytics of VK. So how did people find about our site? Did they search within VK, which would be the VK search results check, or did they use a search engine like google.com or .ru or Yandex and find us there? So that definitely is a good information to pull from. Audience coverage is another good stat that really shows the reach that our posts on our wall have on the community. So definitely it's important to make engaging posts, and we really try to engage our audience as much as we can. Social media is it's not one directional, but it's both ways. So we can see here that our posts have decent reach, and definitely the more reach you have, the more likelihood that you will get more followers. So this is something that we're always trying to improve on, trying to make interactive and engaging posts, but we think we've had moderate success thus far. So again, that kind of summarizes what we've been doing in a very brief nutshell with VK. One last thought I had is that it's also a very common way to interact with Russian users instead of using email. Some are more comfortable using the messaging system that you can see in the top left-hand corner, profile, friends, photos, videos, music, and then messages. So we often do business using the messaging system as opposed to email, just because the client's more convenient to use this method. And so we've had a lot of success doing that as well. So that kind of is where we are for that. I'm finished with that portion of the presentation, so maybe we can hand it back over to Alexandra.
Okay, thank you Svetlana and Lucas for a great presentation of largest Russian social media network as a marketing tool. Now we have a couple minutes for comments, questions, suggestions, and or recommendations, so please feel free to share your feedback with us. Okay, so I already have some questions in here, and to start with, I have some questions to Svetlana. The first one is, does a company account need to be verified?
Sites and to be well known within a country. As for the companies, you also can verify your account. In this case, next to your name on your account, VK is going to post a little check symbol that will show members and visitors that the account was verified.
Okay, thank you Svetlana. And next question is for Lucas. So you mentioned in your presentation Yandex, and what is that?
I think Svetlana would probably be the best to answer that, but essentially Yandex is the main go-to search engine tool for Russians. Russians use Google frequently as well, but google.ru and Yandex, yandex.ru, are probably the most common search engine tools used. Rather similar in their approach, slightly different algorithms, I would imagine. But definitely if you have a Russian community that's online, they're probably searching for whatever they're searching in Russian on either google.ru or yandex.ru.
Okay, thank you Lucas. And I also have one more question for Svetlana. So are widgets built in?
Widgets can be built in your personal website, and they are built in the in your profile on VK.
Okay, thank you Svetlana. And let's have a look if we have more questions. Okay, I think it is a general question. So could we have an account on VK and speak in English? Who wants to answer this one?
Maybe I can try to answer that one.
Would be great, thank you.
Yeah, definitely it's possible to do that, but I think it would be important to first answer a couple of key questions. First of all, it's important to establish the reason why you need or you want an account on VK, whether it's to create more brand awareness or to actually establish more leads or conversions. And then the second closely related question to that would be, who is your audience on VK? In most cases, it's an assumption, but probably not a far-off assumption. In most cases, they're probably Russian-speaking people that use VK. Not all the time, but mostly. So if they're Russian-speaking people who use VK, they're most likely using VK in Russian. And that's definitely the go-to operational language. The majority use Russian. So it is possible to communicate with Russian speakers in English, having an English-Russian kind of conversation back and forth. But in our experience, it's far more beneficial to communicate in Russian both ways. And really, when you communicate in the user's main language, you elicit reaction and engagement far more than trying to do it in a second language.
Okay, thank you, Lucas. So, any comments, feedback? Okay, we have another question. So would content and translation be acceptable?
Is that directed to me?
To both.
Okay. As a substitute, you mean? If you don't have a native Russian interacting, is that the
Yes,
question?
exactly.
Okay. That is a good question. Ideally, it would be better to have a native speaker, but if that's not possible, yeah, I think it's probably a substitute for that. Of course, the huge advantage of doing anything with social media and something like VK or Facebook is that most of it's in real time, and we've kind of come to an era where clients expect answers sooner than later, and they expect answers even faster when they engage with a company's social media platform. You know, if you were to call Coca-Cola or to email them, you might expect an answer within 24 hours. But if you were to leave a question on their Facebook page, I would think most people would expect an answer within a few hours. And so if we were to rely on translation and the time that takes,
Yes.
it might not be as engaging, and there are definite drawbacks to that. So I think looking at someone who could manage your company's page on VK, it doesn't have to be a full-time position, but it could be outsourced but managed carefully. That might be a good intermediary solution.
Well, okay. Thank you, Lucas. And let me check if we have more questions. Okay. Feel like no, and I would assume that everything was quite informative and useful for today. So we were talking today about Russian social media, which is called VK. And I want to thank you again to all of our webinar participants and just to wish them to have a great rest of the day. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.